Okay, here we go. We're going to start our first demo lesson here in Flash using Camtasia. What I'm going to do today is simply create a small particle explosion, and in doing this you will learn anticipation, easing, force, and weight. Seems like a lot to come from just simply making lines explode and drop, but if you do it correctly and you pay attention to what you're doing, you can actually pick up some things. So I'm just going to start off. First, simply, I'm going to do my one stroke, and it's always best when going through and doing any form of animation to break it down into simple forms. So I'm just going to start with my one line, turn on my onion skin. I'm going to drag that line out and pretty quickly begin to ease into the motion as it slows down and reaches its peak, and then ease out of the motion into its drop. Okay? And that's just the basic essential beginnings of a simple particle explosion. Now, I'm going back to the very beginning of my animation, and this time I'm sending out other particles higher, maybe stay in the air longer, drop faster. This is where you add varying particles to your explosion, which add ultimately a lot more exciting animation. So again, always doing one at a time, going back, varying up even the distances and the arcs of how my particle explosion goes. Notice the arcs of these two is more, I'd say, pointing towards the 1 on a clock, and then they drop pretty much of almost a down slope, whereas this one right here, the one I just started, goes more towards a rainbow fall. All these things add appeal to your animation. As well as, if you noticed on this one here, I went through and made it bounce. The more particles you have bounce, the more length you have in your explosion, the more enticing it is. So once again, I'm going back through the beginning of my animation, doing one particle at a time, keeping track of distances, keeping track of my spacing, my weight. To go through, maybe add another color on a different layer. This can go through, maybe send these ones out further, in the air longer, drop at a different rate, at a different angle. Okay. Next, it's also interesting to add a couple different depths and dimensions to your explosion, such as when I have these ones go out, instead of just going straight out, give it an arc. Make the particle flip around as it's in the air, making its way back down. So that's more diversity, some more varying in your particle explosion, which ultimately makes it more interesting. Okay? So this concludes just the very first beginnings of a particle explosion demo tutorial.